Hello there. Today I wanted to talk about the actual spice of the National Hockey League. Specifically, I think that the arenas need a little bit of change. You know, a little bit of zest of life. Because I have heard through non-hockey fans that a lot of the games, a lot of the plays, a lot of the scenarios all tend to be kind of the same. I don't think that, but there's a lot of people offhand who do. It wouldn't take much simply to, add another dimension to the game. And I don't mean actually change it in any way, really. Like, I'm not talking about Futurama and their adaptation of baseball when they had it. That's, anything like that. But I do think that, having particular aspects for particular arenas would be a conversation piece about the game. And, something else to talk about other than the latest goals, who won the Stanley Cup, latest injuries, this, that, and the other, because that gets a bit boring when you hear, oh, someone's out, 3 to 6 weeks with an upper body injury. There's not a lot of room to go, well, what's there to talk about here? And I think there could be minor changes that could really make a big impact. In baseball, there's the Boston Red Sox and how they have the Green Monster. That is particular to that, baseball stadium. Whether, if they were to build it today, whether they would add that or not, I don't know. But one aspect about hockey that could be different is that each arena has some sort of advantage, disadvantage, and it's more than when a team goes to a supposedly a tough building to play in. It's more than the team's simply a good team and their fan base is very loud. There needs to be a bit more than that, because fan bases are loud everywhere, and it's not really the building then, is it? It's the team. And I think there are minor changes that they can do that will add another dimension to it. I don't know, like simple things like the arena could be a little bit bigger in certain places, or the net could be a little bit wider. As I said before, I don't think it should be higher. I think it should be wider. Maybe the ice slopes at a different angle, ever so slightly, causing the players to have to work harder. And you may go, well, how is that an advantage for the home team? Well, for one thing, you got to train. They all got to train, and they do that all the time anyway. And two, that would give them the advantage of being used to there. And besides, they play half of their games away from home anyway. And, that's an example of how, the game could be tweaked just a little bit, and it could add a whole new dimensions to it. There are a lot of diehard hockey fans out there that don't think that way, but it's really a two-dimensional way of the train of thought. You always want to improve things. You don't really want to change them, but you figure that they can be improved upon. And the game of hockey, of course it can. It's happened multiple times over the decades where the game has improved, or gotten better, or become more safe. That's kind of the last 10-15 years what the game has all been about, is making it more safe, which is perfectly reasonable. But there has to be some other things, other gimmicks. Gritty from Philadelphia, he's a nice addition and things like that, and that adds character to the team. Doesn't particularly make it harder for them to play there, but it adds character to the team. And I think every National Hockey League team can have some sort of thing going on where, you know, it's something different about their own arena. It's their own hometown, and, you know, not everyone's house is the same. Not every stadium should be the same. And, you know, they're not in the aesthetic sense that, you know, they're designed differently as far as, you know, where the concessions are and the seating and all that sort of stuff. But the arena itself is the same in every one. Some of them have better jumbotrons than other ones, but, you know, that doesn't make it harder or, you know, a difference maker as far as when teams are playing against them. And, you know, this mentality of, oh, they're going to a particular building, like Joe Louis used to be well known for being a hard stadium to play in. And the thing is, the Detroit Red Wings were simply good. That's why it was hard. It wasn't because it was any different, really. Maybe, you know, there's some technical things I wouldn't know, like maybe it's a little colder in there, or a little less cold, I don't know. Maybe the locker rooms don't stink as much, but that's nothing that the fans can interact with and, you know, feel as though that they're a part of. And, you know, cheering is, you know, an important part of the game, but perhaps, you know, some sort of advantage or a different approach to each stadium on the ice so that the players feel it and you can see it would be, you know, it would be an idea. Obviously, I haven't thought of 31 different changes and alterations per arena and how it could be designated as being fair or, you know, interesting or whatever. But, you know, you get enough eggheads together and, you know, eventually that they're gonna, you know, figure out something. Anyway, that's what I think should be going on, because unfortunately for a non-hockey fan, a lot of games can seem, you know, more or less the same. Like, in the sense that you'll get two teams playing each other and another two teams playing themselves, and, you know, it's a toss of the coin. You obviously don't have time to watch both of them, unless you, like, don't have a job or something. But, you know, there should be difference makers, as I was saying. And I think that's easy enough to do. It means spending a little bit of money, but, you know, it actually, depending on what changes they make, simply to add, you know, character to the arena and not simply character to the team, because you gotta add character to the whole thing. It will make the game a better sport to watch. It doesn't have to be anything drastic, you know, it's little things here and there. Let the opposing team who shows up to the arena know that they're not in their arena, it's not their stomping grounds, and it takes a little more than, you know, fans screaming and shouting. And I think that there are, you know, themes and, you know, just typical things going on. I know there's shows and things like that, and there's lighting and, you know, obviously the national anthem and things like that, but there are other things that can be incorporated, and it's simply a matter of figuring out these things, brainstorming them, and, you know, seeing where to go. Anyway, well, that was mostly what I had to say. I think it's a real good idea, and if anyone could elaborate on such possibilities, that would be cool. Anyway, talk to you people later. Have a good one.